So I am over in flower bed number 2, pulling some weeds and transplanting a couple things. And I just happened to look over at this beautiful maroon lily that Danielle from North Lawn Flower Farm sent me a couple years ago. And I noticed a bunch of ants. And when you have a bunch of ants, you usually have aphids. And this is an aphid that I've never had before, or I've never seen before in my garden. And there are hundreds of them. They are a green aphid, but they have like a little red spot on them. And you can see that the adults, if I can get it to focus, have wings. And then the babies usually don't. But let me show you this here. Do you see all of those aphids? Now, when I see some aphids, I usually will not do anything because they usually don't harm a plant enough to where it's going to actually kill it or do any severe damage. Usually when I water, I will go by this plant that I know has aphids, and I will just use a very powerful stream and knock them off. And I usually don't see them return, and if I do, it's usually just a couple. But whenever there's this many, sometimes I will use an organic spray, but 9 times out of 10, I will spray them off, sometimes twice, and then usually the plant is big enough by the time, if they return for the 3rd time, it's usually in very small numbers, and the plant is usually big enough to where it just does not, really harm them. But if I do notice too much damage from them sucking the liquids and juices out of the leaves, then I will use an organic spray. But I will usually try the water thing a few times, and that usually does the trick.